I immediately fell in love with YMAA because of the community. It's not often that you see young people in the Alzheimer's space, and I decided to start the chapter at UCSD.
Wow, that's amazing. You're very driven.
Thank you.
After many years of partnership, HFC and the Youth Movement Against Alzheimer's, or YMAA, joined forces, and then YMAA became a part of HFC. And you founded the YMAA chapter at UCSD, and you were the president for all 4 years when you were in college. So, Susie, welcome. How did you bring it to life? What was your primary focus?
Yeah, so I wanted to focus on sharing my passion, and the way that I did that was through 4 ways. The first is service, philanthropy, education, and a little bit of advocacy. So for service, we focused a lot on bringing opportunities for our students and members to volunteer in the Alzheimer's space local to San Diego. For philanthropy, we did a lot of fundraising events and awareness events. And as for education, we had professors, researchers, and doctors come to our org and talk about their work in Alzheimer's in research and the healthcare setting. And lastly, advocacy. We did go to Washington, D.C.
Wow.
We went to Capitol Hill and did some policy things here and there.
As you look back, you're not in college anymore. What are some of the standout moments from your involvement in YMAA and your time, engaged in it?
Our first year as a chapter, I was learning how to engage the community and get people to come to these events. And it was a difficult process, but one way that we overcame that was by collaborating with other clubs on campus.
Oh.
For example, we brought in the origami club.
Sounds awesome.
You wouldn't expect that, but we were making Valentine goodie bags for people at memory care facilities. And I thought it'd be really cool to have these origami dragons inside of their little goodie bags. And I feel like an event like that really set the stage for people to talk about Alzheimer's disease in a casual setting. You're not going to a lecture, you're not talking to a doctor, you're talking to friends, and you guys are building little origami dragons and writing letters, and I feel like that was really cool.
Tell me about how your YMAA chapter collaborated with the University of California, San Diego's Alzheimer's Disease Research Center.
Yeah, so our chapter at UCSD has an official collaboration with the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center.
A collab.
Also known as ADRC, because their name is way too long to say over and over again. We were providing volunteers to their center, and in turn they were providing us with things like mentorship and exclusive opportunities to volunteer. So a couple of things were like clinical meetings, watching brain cuttings, and that's not something you get to see very often.
No.
But after COVID, that relationship between our chapter and ADRC evolved into something greater. We wanted to implement a phone pals program because a lot of the families that were affected by Alzheimer's disease were facing isolation, and we wanted to be able to connect students with older adults with Alzheimer's disease. And so we came up with this program called Connecting All Ages. It's super cool because they're connecting students with older adults, and we originally wanted it to be virtual respite care, but we think it's more of just socialization. And I think it impacts both the student and the older adult's life.
That's
really
amazing.
Cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
So you have personal experience with Alzheimer's and caregiving. How did that impact your decision to get involved in YMAA and all this?
So when I first joined YMAA, I actually had no personal connection to Alzheimer's disease. But unfortunately, my own grandparents, one on each of my parents' side, were diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. And I would have to say that it was a devastating thing to go through. But I also felt very blessed in the position that I was. Through YMAA, I talked to a lot of caregivers. I learned a lot about Alzheimer's disease. And so I was in a space where I could support my family through the diagnosis, and I knew exactly what to expect.
Was part of your goal with YMAA to inspire people to get involved in Alzheimer's, for the rest of their lives, maybe as careers, things like that?
Yeah, I definitely saw YMAA as an activating force for the next generation of Alzheimer's researchers, doctors, and advocates. It's important to not only learn and be involved with Alzheimer's disease, but you also have to know how to become a doctor and
Yeah.
have these professional skills. So at our chapter, we paired a lot of our events with workshops to build professional skills, such as learning how to write a resume, learning how to read a research paper, and we even taught them how to apply for jobs and stuff. So
That's amazing.
I think YMAA provided a space for people to learn and be engaged with Alzheimer's disease, but also learn the professional skills to become a doctor or researcher and such.
If you had to sum up HFC in one word, what would that one word be?
I thought long and hard about this.
Great.
I feel like the word to describe HFC would be community. HFC offers this unique space where people in the Alzheimer's space can educate each other, and we can learn from each other about caregiving and about brain health, but we could also support each other through hard times and in our efforts to become the next Alzheimer's professionals and advocates.
Booyah.